Trib HSSN band plays us in. When you hear that little music ditty, you know good things are coming, and it's not from me. I can guarantee you that. Welcome to the Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network. We are finally putting a wrap on week 4 of the high school football season, and we are here to salute our WPIAL team of the week. It is the most successful program in WPIAL history. They've set the bar for everybody else to come chase. The Aliquippa Quips and their outstanding head coach, Mike Warfield, kind enough to join us. For those who don't know, Coach Warfield, I think 6-7 years head coach of the Quips football team, decided he's going to step away in 2024. One of his assistants, Vashawn Patrick, good friend of Coach Warfield, took over. And then this offseason, the itch was he got tired of scratching it, and he came back. First of all, Mike, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, Don. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Mike Warfield. So I know there was a lot of hoopla, and rightly so, when you decided to come back. If you could just kind of, without getting too personal, but kind of talk us through when you decided in 2023 that I want to step back. I want to take at least a year off. At no point did anyone say that you were retiring or that you were hanging it up. And then also, at what point did you decide I need to get back?
It was a situation where I had discussed it a few times with our superintendent, Dr. Woods, and like most coaches are educated, so they are within the school. So coaching is just another aspect of their teaching. I was in law enforcement, for 30 years. So been with the state police, with the DEA, 20 of those 25 years. Then going to the U.S. Attorney's Office, simultaneously being coach. I just needed a breath. So it wasn't a situation that it was something that I something was wrong or my health was bad or I had family issues. It was none of that. It was just I needed to take time out and take a breath and just relax for a second. So that's basically what it was.
You are retired from the state police, correct?
Yes. Okay. I retired in 2018. My first year, matter of fact, Friday before my first game, I retired. Then I immediately started working for the U.S. Attorney's Office. So it's just been, ongoing for a long time. Needed a little time off.
So the whole time you were just taking a little breather, then I'll get back in. Was there at any time last year where you thought, yeah, this is pretty nice? Do I want to get back in, or no thoughts at all?
Yeah, at times a little bit, but I still, I retired. I went to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now I still work for McKesson Pharmaceuticals now, so I was fortunate to get a position there. So I was traveling a little bit, for as far as work is concerned. Last year I missed a lot of the games. I went to all the home games, but missed some of all the away games. So I knew the program was in good hands with Vashawn. He's an excellent young coach.
Yeah,
he's definitely our future, in my opinion. So I was excited for him, and I was still around supporting him as far as fundraising and trying to raise money for the things that the kids needed. So I was in contact. We was probably in contact, probably not daily, but definitely weekly.
Yeah, you at no point were you like, yeah, we got that fundraiser on Thursday night, Coach, and also can you run a few more draws on 3rd and long?
I never did that. Coaching staff basically remained. I trust him, and I didn't want to be over his shoulder.
Right.
I wanted to give him his space where he could do things his way, the things he thought it should be done. So, and he did an excellent job. The staff did an excellent job.
I think most people would think that when a longtime successful coach steps away, whether it be briefly or whether it be permanently, that the competitive aspect of the the whole ball of wax or the X's and O's is something that they would miss. But having done this long enough and talked to so many coaches, it really a lot of times comes down to the biggest thing they miss when they're away are the relationships with the kids.
I totally 100% agree with that. And not just the kids. For me, it's our staff. Our staff gets along well. I enjoy being around them. We sit around and talk after every practice. We call it our fifth quarter. But just being around the kids and being around the staff, that brings me happiness.
Yeah, no, it's that's the challenge of each and every year. Is that you may or may not know what you have when camps begin, but just seeing that team
Yes,
hopefully come
yes,
together and gel and have success, whether it leads to a championship or not. Those are the things that are so rewarding for high school coaches. Mike Warfield of Aliquippa, kind enough to join us. Glad to hear that it wasn't health related, but after these last 2 weeks, the blood pressure's got to be kind of in the back of your mind as a question. 2 weeks ago, down 6-0 to Mars in a non-conference game. You guys rally impressively in the fourth quarter, win 19-6. This past Friday, what a thriller at Heinz Field against Penn Hills. Tip of the cap to the Indians. Saw parts of that game, and I thought they played a really strong game. Had the lead for most of the contest, including into the fourth quarter. But man, oh man, what a statement by the Quips of always believing, not putting the shoulders down when things start going wrong. And another rally, and it leads to the dramatic come from behind victory over Penn Hills. There may be a lot of questions you and your staff have between quarters 1 and 3, but fourth quarter they are answering the bell.
yes, they are, and that's growth. I've seen the kids growing as far as not physically. They're always going to be prepared physically, but now you're starting to see them believe what we've been saying all along, that we have to play 4 quarters. And I have to give credit also to the WPIAL. I mean, every week you've seen or are seeing good competition. Every week there's some nail biters. Every week there's some good teams playing each other. So I give credit to them. So our schedule is tough. We play Avonworth. They're a really, really good team, very well coached. Mars is a really good team, very well coached. Penn Hills is a good team, very well coached. And now next up is Newcastle, who's a really good, with a very good staff. What Fred got up there. So we're getting there. We believe it as a coaching staff, but it's one thing for us to believe it, and then for the kids to believe it as well. Now I'm starting to think that they're starting to believe it. So that's a big difference. You're starting to see them fighting to the end. But if Don, if you look at the numbers, the numbers were astonishing. I'm a big stat guy. We had over 500 yards a total offense, but we just couldn't punch it in. So we definitely got to get better at that. The defense is playing well, but we still got some things, some twists and turns that we need to do to get our kids in the best situations.
Yeah, let's give some credit to your defense because, again, that game could have been out of reach by the fourth quarter if not for their stellar play and keeping it close. And you could say the same thing the week before against Mars. That side of the ball seems to be putting it together throughout the 4 quarters.
Yes, they're playing really well. We changed the defense a little bit this year. Being low in numbers, sometimes, especially here at Aliquippa, we can't coach based on our philosophy. We got to coach based on what we have, our talent. Sort of move to a 40 instead of a 50, which we've done all for as long as I can remember, as long as Aliquippians can remember. But I have to give credit to the staff, Coach Short and Coach Patrick, Coach Jalil, Coach Darian, Drayvon Henry. We brought on Cody Ross, Kier Jeter, Maurice Smith. So the defensive staff is solid. I mean, a bunch of good, knowledgeable football players, and they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, that's awesome. The victory over Penn Hills, what a performance by your quarterback, senior Marcus Council Jr. 19 of 30, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the laser dart to Ray Miller on the final play, a walk-off 28-yard touchdown pass, that there was not a whole lot of room. They were, I know the Penn Hills defense, I'm sure, feels sick, but that was a threading the needle by Council. And again, he continues to come up big in big moments.
Yes, definitely. And I want to give credit to the Penn Hills coaches. They had their kids ready to play, good schemes. They in person than they were sort of on tape. But Marcus played well. That last drive, we practice that all the time. Maybe not 95 yards with no timeout. We do practice the 2-minute drill and situation football all the time. But I have to also give credit to the guys up front doing that drive most of the day, especially in pass protection. They did a great job, and that's Coach Bob and Coach Tez. I give them a lot of credit. But everyone look at that pass to Ray, and I'm so happy for Ray. He's so well deserving. He's been practicing hard. We haven't utilized him a lot on offense, but that was one of my intentions, talking to Darian Fields to try to get him the ball more. But the pass before that to get us to the 50 to Josh Lay was even more impressive than the touchdown pass. Those were short windows, small. Yeah. And I tell him all the time, 12 months from now, those windows are going to be what you're going to be looking through. So you got to get good at that and be able to fit those in. So he was under poise, even at times to get the clock started, running the ball, getting out of bounds. He basically, to perfection on that drive. So I'm pleased with that.
Yep. Was the last play by design? In other words, was Ray the number one target? And if so, kind of ingenious, because I'm sure the Penn Hills defense was looking for a pass either to Khalil or Josh. Josh Lay had 8 catches, Khalil Good 7 catches. They put up monster yards, I think combined like 270 yards in receptions, the two of them. So I'm sure the Indians were sitting there thinking it's going to one of those two.
Yes, definitely. That was one of the things we discussed before the season. Coach Darian Fields, who's Khalil's brother, is and Cheese's older brother.
Yes.
He's our offensive coordinator. I mean, he's just like Coach Pat, very knowledgeable in football. He brings a different vibe to the team. He brings some youth to the team who the kids can relate to. But he actually drew that up. We have a package. We have 5 wide, and he wanted Khalil and Ray on the same side because Ray can run. Ray could take the top off, and they have to respect that. But we also knew, and I told Darian, if teams aren't double teaming, we call Khalil Pook. By the 5th game, we're not doing our job. We're not getting in the ball enough. So so you can see Josh Lay stepping up. Eddie, who's hurt right now. Ray is stepping up. We have a young guy, Hicks, is stepping up. So the guys are stepping up. But Darian drew that up. He wanted Ray to run the post and Khalil to run just a streak, hoping that top safety would sort of lean towards and Marcus threw it. Marcus threw it right before he made the cut, and Ray went and got it. And we see that at practice more and more now with Ray. So we're getting more confidence in Ray, and he's getting more confidence in himself. So I'm really proud of him and proud of Marcus for stepping up at that time.
Yeah, great play call. We were talking about Marcus and his athletic ability, which is obviously through the roof. Do you guys ever, when you're in a huddle and you're talking to the team about we need to do this, we need to do that, does he ever correct your grammar? Because he is going to Yale, and that is way out of my league. I'm not going to speak for you. You might be a genius yourself, but
he's out of mine. But
what an impressive young man.
It's funny because I coached his dad at that time.
Right.
Under Coach Z, and he reminded me so much of his dad, who played at Toledo, who was a really good quarterback in his own right. But I tell his dad all the time, he's way better than you, and way smarter. So, but I give credit to his mother, T, as well. She has done a phenomenal job with him, and I'm proud of him. And I tell him the difference is 12 months ago he really didn't have anything. You know what I mean? In just 12 months, he just kept working at it, and now look. But at this point in time, this isn't the time to take your foot off the gas.
No.
He's making good decisions. That was me and Darian preach to him all the time. Just make good decisions, and we'll live with it. And I think he's starting to believe it more. He had to sit behind Cheese for 2 years, so
Right.
this is only gained like 14 or 15. So I see even more with him, you know, in the very near future here.
What an impressive young man. Obviously, we wish him nothing but the best as he continues his athletic and academic educations at Ivy League Yale. That is uber impressive to say the least. You know, one thing that I love to hear, you know, everybody knows the incredible tradition that is Aliquippa football, Aliquippa basketball, um, and so many great athletes that have gone on to do well at the next level, that have gone on to do well at the ultimate level of professional football. Um, but when you during this interview, you've been running down various assistant coaches, and it's like a who's who of former studs um, for Aliquippa, and it just again says something not only about the community. I think it says something about the leadership and the want that these young men grow into outstanding men who want to give back and want to help the next generation of Quips thrive and succeed.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Drayvon Henry is phenomenal. You know, he was playing up until this summer. He wanted to coach. Absolutely, he's been added A+ to our staff. Cody Ross, I think he has real true family ties to Aliquippa. But I think he graduated from Hopewell. Cody Ross has been excellent. You know, I could go down the field and the whole list of coaches,
Yeah.
Maurice, are Aliquippians, and it's been passed down to us. It was passed down from Coach Nessa to Coach Morocco to Coach Z to me, and you know, to Pat. So it's a tradition that you know is unlike no, and these are really was good football players and are good football coaches. So I think that gets overlooked a lot at times, but our staff is second to none.
4 games in the books, all non-conference, as you alluded to earlier. What a tough schedule, a challenging schedule it's been. But now we get to for all the 4A schools. Finally, you get to play some conference games for you guys. It's tradition-rich Parkway Conference ball that you know is going to be tough, and you get to be challenged right off the get-go in your opener with a trip to historic Newcastle. Kane's playing some real good ball, coming off a whitewash of Knock last week. They got a little unknown nugget that's starting to make some waves in the freshman quarterback, Marino Graham, combined passing and rushing nearly 350 yards last week, 3 touchdown tosses, a touchdown run. It's a program that has struggled, but it appears that they have righted the ship.
Yes, absolutely, and I got a lot of respect. Really, I got a lot of respect for all the high school coaches. You know, been doing this for 8 years. Now I really understand what it
Right.
takes. So any high school, you know, doing this, and especially the coaches been doing it 15, 20 years, I have the utmost respect because it's demanding, it's time consuming, and it's a challenge on a daily basis. But Coach Fred up in Newcastle, him and his staff has done a really good job. I see they have, you know, getting more players. The talent that they have is going to be something to see in now, but in the next few years or so, it's going to be really something to see. I started watching tape Saturday and started watching the quarterback number 13. He's really good. He's shifty,
Yeah.
throw the ball. They have good line up front. And I was thinking as I was watching him is that I can't wait to see, because I'm a quarterback guy. I can't wait to see when he's like a junior or senior. He's gonna be something to see.
Yeah. Just like the kid right next door, James Armstrong.
Yes,
He's doing a lot of special things as a sophomore at Hopewell. I had somebody who saw him for the first time. I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago or this past Friday, say that the pass he throws is electric. The arm is legit,
Yes,
and that give him some more experience, and it's going to be look out.
absolutely. And it's funny you say that because I did watch the first game I watched was Newcastle versus Hopewell, and it was both. He's talented.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's intelligent, and he could definitely throw the ball. But there's another quarterback. I like quarterbacks. Like I said, Allenworth quarterback is good too.
Yeah.
Gets overlooked, but he could throw that ball. And he throws on time. He throws in rhythm, and he throws a good ball.
Carson Bellinger. And the thing I like about him, and the same thing with the Hellman kid from Upper St. Clair, is these guys. And I know high school is not like college, where you can enter some sort of portal. At least most schools, you can't go into some sort of portal and end up somewhere else. But they bided their time, right? I mean, Avonworth won a championship last year, running the ball, run. St. Clair won their conference. They were the number 1 seed in 5A, run. These guys kind of bided their time. I don't know if you want to say game manager, but they weren't asked to do a lot. Now things are different. Some running backs have left, and these guys are showing their true value.
Right. Totally agree. And you have a lot of talented guys out there, but the players that I've seen was those three that are impressive, including Marcus. And I did go to we had off week 0. I did go to Central Valley Montour game, and Central Valley quarterback is really good, and Montour he's a left-hander too. Quarterback is really athletic and can throw that ball. So it's a lot of talent out there. So it's good football. I mean, we're seeing good football all around.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Fred turning things around. You knew he would after the success he had at Neshannock at Newcastle. So it's going to be another dogfight. I thought last year. I know you were a spectator, but you guys losing to Montour in week 8 looked like the Spartans were going to finally win a conference championship. And here comes West Allegheny, bites them in week 9, and it turns out it's a 3-way tie for the conference championship. That's Parkway Conference football.
Right, absolutely. And I don't expect anything different this year because top to bottom, you could get beat on any given week if you're not prepared. So my job to make sure the kids understand that and make sure they're prepared, because a lot of times we come off that big win in Bell Vernon, then we got hit in the face at Avonworth. Sometimes when you win, you actually lose because you overlook the little things, and sometimes you lose, you actually win because now you got to pay more attention to those little details. So I'm constantly, I won't say afraid of that, but I'm constantly vigilant of that.
I'm not sure those little details were solved by the Steelers after they lost to Seattle, but that's a totally different story. We'll just sort of gloss.
Yeah, that's out of my league.
We'll gloss by that and continue talking high school football. I saw a note. And I know this is the furthest thing from your mind as we start to wrap things up here, but I saw a note that the Quips will, if they reach the WPIAL championship, which is commonplace. I know the streak ended last year, but in 4A with no runaway team, especially with Keeman Spell and his injuries at McKeesport, it's a lot of really, really good teams, no runaway teams. You guys could easily be playing for a championship at Pine Richland High School. The note was basically you reach the WPIAL championship, probably sticking in 4A for the next 2 years, since this is a realignment year coming up. And if you don't, then you could go back to a classification closer to where you belong, and that's Class 3A. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But the water continues to be muddy.
Yeah, it is, and I think the story's been written over and over relative to our side of the story, and you're starting to see it now. It's just our numbers are so low, and it's tough. and it's tough on our kids. I look in our kids' faces, during the games, and they're winning, especially the guys up front who's going both ways.
Sure.
We just don't have the numbers, and at some point in time, people are really going to have to take a real serious look and say health and safety. It is an issue because we're getting injured just because we're being required or kids are being demanded to play double the snaps of our opponents, and that's not safe. So
Right.
that story be brought up after this year again. We do have some concerns. We're going to continue to always have some concerns, but I want to make it totally clear that we've never ran from competition.
No,
And
no.
never will. And we had a competitive spirit before the formula. We always chose to play it. Just imagine if Aliquippa always played in single A. Imagine that. But at times, people overlook the little footnote and don't read the footnote, is that we're technically a single A school.
Right.
They moved us to double A just because they changed how they count the enrollment.
Right.
Numbers hasn't changed. So we're technically a single A school, having to compete against a 5A school. And at some point in time, it's going to have to change.
And let's be fair and let's be honest. In a community that struggles economically, every dollar helps. And when you are playing your Beaver County rivals, that's gate. That's when folks can jump in their car and travel 10 minutes or 15 minutes to see their favorite school visiting Aliquippa, it's a lot more than asking us, a 4A or a 5A school to jump in the car for 45 minutes and make that trek. So, that's something as well. And I think that's something that doesn't get talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're probably maybe the smallest school in Beaver County, but playing in the highest classification. Tell me, is that correct? And I think the decision for Farrell not to be allowed to come back into the WPIALs because the distance of their opponents would have to travel to Farrell one time every 2 years. So it's so many. It's just not right.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating. We'll kind of leave it at that. There are a lot of things that are frustrating for us that love high school sports so much. I would say that the blood pressure is high after back-to-back come from behind wins for Aliquippa over Mars or Penn Hills, but this guy's silky smooth. He does that stuff doesn't just rolls off him. He's fine. Mike Warfield, always a pleasure chatting with you. Good stuff that you bring to the table. Continued success to you and the Quips.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too. Mike Warfield, head coach of the Aliquippa Quips, our WPIAL Week 4 Team of the Week. We thank Coach Warfield. We thank Chris Lackner, our producer. I'm Don Rebel. Thank you for joining us. Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live, High School Sports Network.